Indian Goa news. I know you soccer crazy Goans are waiting with bated breath for the kickoff of the big leap, extremely big leap that Indian football is waiting to take, the Indian Super League. We have with us in our studio two very well known soccer administrators and players who need no much introduction. Savio Messias has been the former secretary of the Goa Football Association and a well-known face in soccer, having been the force behind the popular Goan football side, Vasco Sports Club. And also in our studio is a former international football player, Lecter Mascarenhas. Welcome to the studio, Savio and Lecter. As you all know, the big thing in Indian soccer, so much hype around it, so much enthusiasm around it. What, in your view, does ISL mean to Indian soccer? Savio, you first.
Well, I must admit that the standard of Indian football has not been growing for the last so many years. In fact, it's been on a decline. We had once ranked in the top 100. Now we are below 150. Now I would say, why is this happening? Because there are a lot of problems which were affecting Indian football. We thought things would improve when we launched the National League. But it's about 18 years, if I'm not mistaken, since the National League was launched, and we are going down and down and down every year in the international FIFA standing. So I think we need to look beyond, they say beyond the border, and come up with some new ideas to improve the Indian football. And I feel we should give a chance to ISL and hope and pray that things change in India.
Why hope and pray? Why not be sure that ISL will be the thing that will push Indian soccer to the international level?
Well, it's a new concept. Look, all over the world, you will never find a new team in soccer. It's always old teams which are doing pretty well, like Manchester United, Barcelona. You take any club in any country. But in our country, the big clubs failed. So now we're looking at a new concept. It's a new club which is going to be Christian and probably play the first match in 3 or 4 days. A club which was born just about 15 days ago. So we can't be sure what's going to happen. So that's why I say we have to hope and pray that things go okay and football reaches a better height.
Lecter, what is your take on ISL?
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, I feel in ISL there are both. There are positives and as well there are negatives. Positives in short, if I could say, is this: their commitment to work at the grassroots, then the investment done in terms of bringing in marquee managers, marquee players and other international players, then the refurbishment of the stadiums, the infrastructure, and the fourth would be the marketing part of it. They have done a good job. But as far as the negatives are concerned, there are two major issues which needs to be tackled. One is the duration of the league, and the second is the number of foreign players, international players playing in ISL. What outweighs the other has to be seen. Whether the negatives outweighs the positives, we'll have to wait and see over the period.
But what is your hunch? What is your thing? Would it help India catapult into the international level at some recognizable level in the
No, at this point of time, I don't think so. The reason is no development can take place when the league is that short. This is the only place I feel in India where it has been introduced, a short league. Nowhere in the world you will see such a short league. It's always And even the president of All India Football Federation is on record. He has said so that I-League is the mainstay of the Indian soccer. So if that is so, then a lot needs to be done there as well. Now, who is responsible for not doing that? That needs to be seen.
Another reason why this ISL has suddenly come up on the table is the success of IPL in cricket. It has happened in many other sports disciplines. Kabaddi is the latest one, which had a Premier League and was billed as a big success. Can something that is successful in cricket and in some other sport be translated into football like this? Since you have been an administrator at the highest level, Savio, would you throw some light on this aspect?
Well, that was a problem which I thought would be the biggest hurdle, because football has got different rules compared to cricket and other game. You know, in cricket you could play for half a dozen clubs in a year, I think.
Yeah.
Whereas in football you have to have international transfer, which they have 3 windows, or interstate transfer, which now we have also 3 windows. So you can play for a maximum of 2 clubs in a season. So I also was beginning to wonder how will the players, what will they do for the rest of the period of the
Rest of the 9 months.
Yes, that's true. But somehow they overcame this problem by getting in players who probably a little old in age, but great players, and players who had no contracts. Because today, there are many countries who are producing lots of players, but not all players are able to get contracts in the big clubs. So here was an opportunity for many of these players who could not get contracts, were prepared to come to Goa and India and play for these clubs.
We'll take a short break. Stay with us on Innova News.